Hey, what's up, guys? This is going to be a 2021. This is going to be a 2021 guide to SPACs. My last video talked about 2020, and you can always learn from history on some of the successful SPACs of 2020 and a bit of an overview of more of what a SPAC is. So if you missed that video, click down the link in the description or up here somewhere and check it out. But this video, I'm talking about the future. I'm talking about what you can invest in right now and what could be a good decision for 2021. This is going to be a guide. I'm going to talk about 5 different SPACs. So let's dive right in. All right, the first one I'm going to talk about is from, or being sponsored by a pretty famous guy. His name is Sharmath Palihapitiya, as you can see here. He is a Sri Lankan Canadian, woohoo! American venture capitalist, engineer, SPAC sponsor, and the founder and CEO of Social Capital. So he has had several successful SPACs. So he formed these little SPACs, special purpose acquisition companies, that intend on raising money to acquire a target. And his SPACs all had the ticker symbol IPO, and then A was his first one, B, C, D. This is his 5th one that I'm going to talk about right now. IPOE is the ticker symbol. That company is called Social Capital Hedosophia Holdings. Bit of a mouthful, so IPOE is what I'm going to call it. And their target is in the fintech space. And you may have heard of these people because they do really good marketing, and especially if you're millennial or younger, that's kind of their target audience. And they are, drum roll please, SoFi, or Social Finance. So let's take a quick just look at this video here, because I'm sure they can explain themselves a bit better than me.
Hey you. Yeah, you.
I used to be bad with money, but I'm not anymore.
I knew I had to take control of the situation.
I got my money right with SoFi.
I opened a SoFi money account, and it was the first time that I realized I can be earning interest back on my money.
This is amazing.
I just discovered SoFi, and I'm an investor with a diversified portfolio. Who am I?
I searched and found SoFi. I paid off my credit cards and felt the weight come off my shoulders.
SoFi made it so there's no trade-off between my dreams and paying student loans.
Cha-ching!
It's because of SoFi I was able to acquire my first home.
Wow, this is victory. I did it.
It's
So that is SoFi. I thought they could explain it a little bit better than how I could. Basically, they do a variety of different things. They started out mostly just doing refinancing on student loans. Is kind of how they started, almost like an alumni group. And from there, they really grew. The SPAC mergers value them, the valuation for them is at right at $8 billion. Currently, the way that SPAC looks, it's almost double of what its valuation would be. And a lot of time that happens just from all the hype and everything. But even then, futuristic value of it could justify even what the SPAC is going for right now. Let's jump into the TradingView real quick. I use tradingview.com. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just a free way. You can look up different charts. When you go there, it always pulls up Apple first. So we want to look up IPOE. And so we can see when they announced, it was probably right on January 7th, that they were going to merge with SoFi. Look at the way the stock reacted. It went from $12, just above 10 there, all the way up to 22. And then kind of went up and up again, and then started to kind of realize some of the valuation with it and sold off. Currently right around $18. It's kind of neat to see. So SoFi is the first one in this that I think is a good move, just because of, you've got Chamath's background and bringing companies public and his recent successes with his other SPACs. And that's one of the reasons why this thing's jumped up so much too. And SoFi just being a fintech bank. You know, traditional banks, they got to get with the times. I mean, you know, cryptocurrencies and online platforms and mobile tech and apps and that sort of thing are the future. That's what millennials growing up into. So they got to get with the times or move out of the way. And you know, SoFi is one of those fintech companies kind of pushing that. So that's them. This next one I really like because I'm a mechanical engineer and I love cars too. I love working on cars, old cars, you know, and the new electric cars, Tesla's new cars and stuff like that really interest me. So this company, they're saying they aren't in direct competition with Tesla at this point in time, but it's inevitable that they will be competing with Tesla. They're kind of coming across that they're going to be on the higher end of the spectrum. So they're an electric vehicle company. They're called Lucid Air, and they are set to merge with CCIV. That's Churchill Capital Corp. The fourth IV. So CCIV was announced that it will merge with Lucid Air to bring them public. Now, Lucid Air, you know, they've just recently actually have had a factory finished, and they're planning on pumping out, I think, 40,000 cars every year from that factory. But all their cars start at about 69, 70,000. Let's take a look at their website real quick here. I was looking at their cars. Look at those things. So Lucid Air, this is the kind of 3 different, I guess, styles and models, and you can kind of design what you want. But there we go. Max horsepower up to 1,080. Range 517 miles. It's very competitive. This is one of the coolest things too. They're boasting a 20-minute fast charge to get 300 miles. I mean, that's the best out there right now. That's pretty epic. Quarter mile in 9.9 seconds, and 0 to 60 in as quickly as 2.5 seconds. Woo! That is fast. That'll pin you to the back of your seat. The cars look real slick, you know, really sleek, elegant design, but definitely more on the luxury side of things. So those 3 different models, you have the Air Pure, the Air Touring, and the Air Grand Touring. You can see starting from 70,000, basically 90,000, and 131,000. So they aren't cheap, but that's not what they're growing into. You know, I took a look in their My Job postings, and they've got a ton of job posting listings, you know. So they're really in that growth stage, looking to grow. And of course, CCIV, let's check it out on the charts. It definitely really blew up. And, you know, I follow a few other, obviously, financial guys on YouTube. Meet Kevin, you know, obviously one of the most famous ones, whatever. He loves this SPAC. He talks about this SPAC all the time. And to him, I remember specifically one of the last things he was saying is that he really likes this SPAC under 30. So if it's under $30, he's considering it a good buy. Right now it's at $30.75, so it's close to it. But man, it pumped all the way up to 65 just as a SPAC. And you can see, you know, before Churchill Capital, before CCIV was announced that it was going to merge with Lucid, I mean, it was sitting right here around $10. And then boom, right from that point on, I mean, it was just up, up, up. So really interesting. These analysts are marketing as a neutral right now at its price, which, you know, makes sense. I could see myself picking up some shares if this got closer to 25. I may dollar cost average in a little bit. It could be a good one. So that's number 2 on 2021 SPACs I'm looking at. All right, this next one is from Revolution Acceleration Acquisition Corp. RAAC is going to be merging with, drum roll please, Berkshire Grey. Berkshire Grey. When I first heard Berkshire Grey, I instantly think of Berkshire Hathaway. But Berkshire Grey is a very interesting company. Take a look at this like home screen here as I'm talking. They're into the automated factory warehouse business, I guess you could say. They have AI-powered robotics, and they're in retail, grocery and convenience, e-commerce, 3PL, post and parcel. Extremely versatile. They have a very fast return on your investment. They say they save $1 million in savings every year, and scaled to enable 24/7 operations without having to add another shift. So really smart when you're thinking about more and more people are ordering things online. The virus that came through forced a lot of people to buy things online, so now they're used to it, and they're used to just not having to go leave their warm homes and go to the store and get their stuff there. They're used to just buying it online, having it show up at their front door. But a lot goes behind that, from the warehouses, packing and distribution and all that type of stuff. So some of these warehouse places are getting slammed, and so this is a really great company to kind of help with that. So they're going to be huge, and they're going to help businesses kind of compete with Amazon in a way too, if you think about it. So I really like this company. I need to dig more into it. Let's take a look and see on the trading view what RAAC is sitting at right now. See, Revolution Acquisition Corp. So this is a relatively new listed, it looks like. Let's see. Let's look at the last year. So I'm guessing when the news was announced, probably early February, it looks like, it jumped all the way up to only 13 or 14, and then came back down again. Not many people have talked about this company. It's a little less on everyone's maps right now. So this is my third SPAC that I'm looking at that hasn't really been talked about by a lot of other folks that we need to kind of keep our eye on. So RAAC, I may have some updates to it in the future. Next up, number 4, going to look at the ticker SFTW, which is Osprey Technology Acquisition, is going to merge with, drumroll please, Black Sky. Black Sky. The more I look at this company, the more I just think of like Big Brother, Uncle Sam. They have a video here on their homepage showing just the different satellite views and kind of, boasting on what they do. So what does Black Sky do? Black Sky is basically a satellite company. They do imagery of the Earth, and they monitor things. They can look at natural disasters. They can look at hurricanes. They can provide, military information and monitoring. And it's almost freaky how good a quality these satellites can video and take. It's pretty nuts. Let's see a look here. Why Black Sky? They have this video here on this page here I watched, and no one offers better insights. And this whole video just kind of shows all the different like things they can keep an eye on and look at from the sky. There's a hurricane, from above, and just showing all sorts of things. And so they're expected to grow their profits and revenues by like 110% in 2021. So they're boasting that they're going to be hitting some big numbers. So let's take a look and see where that SPAC is at right now. SFTW. Let's look at this is the 3-month. So once again, this is probably when it was announced over here, is when you see that first big spike in the SPAC. when the news is finally announced that they're going to merge, because some SPACs just sit as SPACs for, I think it's after 2 years they have to return their money to the investors. So, boom, jumps right up. It peaked all the way up to $17, and then it's come all the way back down to $11.62. This is one I could see averaging myself a small position into, and I'll provide more updates on it too as we go. So that is number 4, looking at Black Sky. Number 5, this last SPAC is very similar to the first SPAC I talked about. It's in the financial tech. It's a direct competitor to SoFi, and the only difference is it's not really hyped up as much. It's not really overvalued as much right now, and it's sitting at about half the valuation of what SoFi is. And we're talking about Fuse merging with MoneyLion. That's a cool name, MoneyLion. Makes it feel like a strong company name, MoneyLion. And then the ticker too, Fuse. I mean, that's a great ticker. I mean, you just say I'm investing in Fuse. So they say right here on the front page on MoneyLion that they are the world's most innovative finance and technology company. Let's see if we can take a look at this here. A little 1-minute intro on what they're about.
America, start your engines. This is the big race, and we are all in it. Sight fixed on our finish lines. Engines roaring towards our firsts. But it's not a walk in the park. The hits, the walls, the bumps. But we keep on fighting because we all have a team that helps us stay on track. So America, keep your foot on the pedal because the finish line is ours. MoneyLion, America's most powerful financial membership. Here we bank, here we invest, here we roar.
So pretty neat. Another one to keep your eye on. Very similar space for what they're about. Doing a lot of almost financial support for millennials, but as a advanced technological company. Their mission is to rewire the American banking system so that we can positively change the financial path for every hardworking American. So they're just trying to help people take control of their finances. They got a good team behind them. I like them, and they're not as overvalued as SoFi. So they're another one that I'm considering kind of looking into. So. All right, so this was my guide to 2021 SPACs that I'm looking at. We talked about 5 SPACs in the video. Just one thing to keep in mind though, SPACs are extremely volatile. That's the reason why, like in the last year, majority of all the SPACs put together ended up in a negative return. So, you really got to pick and choose the right ones and just be careful out there, And the disclaimer, I didn't do at the beginning of the video, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes. Do your own research on these SPACs. I mean, these should have given you some ideas that you can go up and look at the companies yourself and look on the investor page and read through the 10Ks and that. So make smart decisions out there, guys. And one other thing, please, if you can, smash that like button and please subscribe. I'm going to be bringing you some more cool content. I'll talk about other companies that, other people aren't talking about as much and really look into, picking and choosing the right ones. In 2021 here, people are talking about possibility of the whole market kind of crashing, but that's more of the large cap, the small cap stocks, they may not do too bad, and you just got to pick and choose. So do me a favor. Because my little girl's asking, will you tell them to subscribe, Sienna? Will you tell them to subscribe? Yeah? You're too smoky. All right, guys. Take it easy. Peace.